everyone, welcome to my channel all about biology, and this is Jyoti Verma. Today we will discuss about heterospory. So as you all are aware of it, that most of the pteridophytes produce only one kind of spores, and they are called as homosporous pteridophytes because they produce only one kind of spore. However, there are some pteridophytes that produce two kind of spores that differ in their structure, size and function. So what happens in such a situation? The smaller spores are called as the microspores, which are formed in the microsporangia, and after germination these microspores give rise to male gametophyte. However, the larger spores are called as the megaspores, and these are formed in the megasporangia, which forms female gametophyte. So heterospory is basically the phenomena where two types of spores differing in size, structure and function are formed on the same plant. So this is the summarized form of heterospory. Heterospory is the phenomena in which a plant have two kinds of spores. One is the microspore and the other one is the megaspore. Microspore are small in size and formed in microsporangia. These microspores after germination will give rise to male gametophyte. However, megaspore are large in size. These are formed in the megasporangia, and these megaspore will give rise to female gametophyte. So that is your heterospory, in which a plant consists of two kinds of spores. Heterospory is known in 9 genera of pteridophytes. These are Selaginella, Izoetis, Stylites, Marsilia, Pillularia, Regnilidium, Salvinia, Azolla and Platysoma. These 9 genera of pteridophytes were reported by Rashid in 1976. So these are the pteridophytes that are heterosporous in nature, that contain two different types of spores, microspores and megaspores. Now coming to origin of heterospory. So a detailed study of the heterosporous form has revealed that heterospory originated due to reduction in the number of spores within the sporangia. So what happened in such a situation? There are two different conditions for the microspores and the megaspores. What happened when all the spores in the sporangium are functional? Then there is greater competition for nutrition. So each spore will receive limited amount of food supply, and thus its size remains small and it will form microspore. However, what will happen when some spore mother cell in a sporangium disintegrate during the development, and the remaining spores will get sufficient nutrition for their development? Then in such a situation the size of the spore will increase and they will form megaspore. So the basic idea behind the origin of heterospory was that there may be reduction in the number of spores within the sporangia, due to which the remaining spores will get enough nutrition to become larger in size and they will form the megaspore. So the above interpretation was supported by some studies, and now we will discuss about those studies. The first study here is paleobotanical evidences of heterospory. So in the paleobotanical evidences we will study about the fossil plants. So these evidences suggest that the heterospory was present in fossil forms also. Some of the fossil plants of the late Devonian period and early Carboniferous period were heterosporous. These were Lepidocarpon, Lepidostrobus, Mesocarpon, Sigillariostrobus, Calamocarpon and Calamostachys. So according to Scott, in 1894, an indication of heterospory can be seen in two species of Calamostachys. So the Calamostachys is a fossil plant that consists of two different species that show an indication of heterospory. What happens in such a situation? In Calamostachys bainiana, it consists of most of the sporangia having small spores in large numbers, and it will have only few number of sporangia that have larger spores. However, in the case of Calamostachys cashiana, there is more finer division. It consists of microspores and megaspores which are present in different sporangia. And in this case, what happens? In the case of megaspores, what happens? Some of the spores have aborted the development, due to which the megaspores may have been formed, as we have discussed earlier. So these two species of Calamostachys gives an indication of the heterospory because they show spores of different sizes. Now, a similar abortion of spores was also observed in certain fossil species of Lepidocarpon, Calamocarpon and Stauropteris. What happens in the case of Lepidocarpon and Calamocarpon? They have only a single functional megaspores and other spores aborted during the development. However, in Stauropteris, the megasporangium had two functional megaspores and two aborted spores. So, what is the conclusion of these studies? The paleobotanical evidences suggest that heterospory was also present in the fossil plants and it originated due to disintegration of some spores in the sporangium. Now coming to our other studies, that is the evidences from developmental studies. Developmental studies include the study of events like meiosis, maturation of spores, etc. So the developmental studies carried out in Selaginella in order to find out the origin of heterospory. And what they have noticed that in the case of microsporangium, what happens? All the sporocytes undergo meiosis and they form large number of microspores which are smaller in size. However, in the case of megasporangium, what happens? All the sporocytes except one abort. It means that there is only one sporocyte left and that will undergo meiosis, forming only 4 large functional megaspore. So this is the difference that you can notice here within the microsporangium and within the megasporangium. In the case of microsporangium, all the sporocytes will undergoing meiosis. However, in the case of megasporangium, only one sporocyte is left and rest of the sporocyte cells will abort, forming 4 large functional megaspore. Now there are some variations in the species of Selaginella that will also show an indication of heterospory. In the case of Selaginella stenophylla, 2 megaspores of the tetrad are larger, however other 2 megaspores are smaller. In the case of Selaginella molliceps, 1 megaspore is larger and the remaining 3 megaspores of the tetrad are smaller. In the case of Selaginella erythropus, it consists of only a single large megaspore. So you can see there are variations within the species of Selaginella within the megaspore size also. That shows an indication of the heterospory. So Rashid in 1976 observed some larger spores in microsporangia of the Selaginella species. Such sporangia represent initial stages in the origin of heterospory. So in some species of Selaginella, Rashid reported that there are larger spores in the microsporangia. So that is an indication of the origin of heterospory that leads to the formation of megaspores. Now, by the developmental studies of Izoetes, it was concluded that in microsporangium, the entire sporogenous tissue form sporocytes. These sporocytes after meiosis will form lots of the microspores. The number is very large here. However, in the case of megasporangium, some sporogenous tissue develops into sporocyte. However, rest of the sporogenous tissue will provide here nutrition. And after the formation of these sporocytes, only few will remain functional and other will degenerate. After that, they will form 50 to 300 megaspores. So in such a situation, you can see the variations within the microspores and the megaspores. Microspores are produced in large numbers and they are smaller in size. However, the megaspores are larger in size but they are produced in less number. Now coming to developmental studies in Marsilia. In the case of Marsilia, what happens when the sporogenous tissue forms sporocytes? After that, the sporocytes will undergo meiosis and they will form 64 functional microspores. However, what happens here? The sporocytes after undergoing meiosis will form 64 megaspores, and after that they will undergo degeneration. Only one functional megaspore is left here. So you can see that how in the case of megaspores there is abortion or reduction in the number of spores is going on within the species. So the developmental studies have shown that the determining process of heterospory becomes operative either before meiosis. In the case of Selaginella, as we have discussed, that before meiosis there is abortion of the cells, and in the case of Marsilia, Azolla and Salvinia, there is after meiosis, in which we have seen that 64 megaspores were formed and only one functional megaspore were left in such a situation. So developmental studies have concluded this point. Now coming to evidences from experimental studies. So experimental studies on Selaginella and Marsilia have shown that heterospory originated due to nutritional factors. What happens in such a situation? They have kept Selaginella in low light intensity. So what will happen when you kept Selaginella in low light intensity? In such a situation, its photosynthetic activity gets reduced. So what will happen? Only microsporangia were developed. In such a situation, only microspores were formed in the Selaginella. Because the photosynthetic activity was reduced, there was less nutrition available. So only microsporangia were formed there. The same results were obtained with Marsilia. So the experimental studies on the Selaginella and Marsilia concluded that whenever there is less nutrition available, then there is formation of microsporangia that will form microspores. However, whenever there is more nutrition available and there is abortion of the cells of the sporocytes, then in such a situation the megaspore may develop. This is the origin of heterospory in different species of plants according to different studies. Now coming to importance of heterospory. So heterospory expresses sex determining capability of the plant. In heterosporous species, determines the sex of the gametophyte. What happens here? Whenever there is formation of a microspore, then it will form male gametophyte. However, whenever there is formation of megaspore, it will form female gametophyte. So heterospory in such a situation will help in expressing the sex determining capability of plant. The second point here is that in heterosporous form, the development of gametophyte is endosporic in nature. And in such a situation, what happens? The nutrition for developing gametophyte is derived from the sporophyte. Okay, the nutrition for developing gametophyte is derived from the sporophyte. In such a situation, what is the benefit here? The development of gametophyte will not be affected by the ecological factors. So that is all about for today. If you like the video, just subscribe to my channel for further updates. Thank you so much.